Hey, hey, hey. Happy Monday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome to the Gaming Gang Dispatch, presented by thegaminggang.com. So, howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Dispatch. So, if this is the first time you've joined me, come on in, kick back, kick your feet up, relax. We are certainly not performing rocket surgery by any stretch of the imagination around here. Just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news. Of course, if you are a constant viewer, welcome once again. Thank you for taking time out to kick back with me. Always appreciated. So tonight is Monday, February 1st, 2021. This is live stream number 613. So I've got an eclectic group of news tonight. But first, I do want to remind you that if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell, because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live, Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube, also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my review of Nidavellir, which is from Grail Games. I think that's how it's pronounced. And Hachette Games, which is arriving in North America in April. Yes, I got an early copy. And stay tuned. I will actually tell you how you can win a copy of the game as well. How's about that? And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Of course, this is a live stream, so that also means that there is chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, but I do my best to pay attention to chat. So if you'd like to say howdy, or maybe you got a question, a comment, by all means, please chime in, and I will do my best to respond. Sometimes it zips by pretty quickly, depending on how many people we have hanging out in chat. So let's see, who was the first one out the gate? It was Clint Gibson tonight. Clint is first out the gate saying hello. We've got Flaming Huron and the Madman are both in chat with us. So that is very cool. We've got both our chat moderators hanging out with us this evening. So the Madman asks, how much snow did I get? We got about 4 inches. Thereabouts. But the way the house is located, it's kind of on a corner, so we get some pretty good drifts from time to time. So because there's nothing breaking, it's kind of strange. There's nothing, kind of breaking up that wind. And then there's like one spot that the wind kind of howls through that's over near my bedroom. And it's kind of funny. It like blows the snow off. So we had like all this snow kind of piled up. And then there's this like spot where you can still see grass because the wind blows like it's almost like in the city of Chicago, the Windy City, right? It used to be, I would assume it's probably still the same. I remember I took a public, bus. I took the CTA to go to high school, and I had to take a bus that ran down to the lake. And even though I was miles away, when I'd be waiting for that bus, the wind would just howl down off the lake, right down, right down Addison. And it'd be like, I have to admit though, this winter has not been bad. I had to go. I had to swing over to the cardiologist this morning. Everything's fine. It's just my 6-month checkup. I'm still here, obviously enough. I'm not in the hospital or anything yet. Um, but I ran into the pharmacy, not for something for me. It was to get something for my dad. And the woman behind the counter who sees me all the time, she was like, "So what do you think of all this snow?" I was like, "Actually, it's all right. I don't mind it. We've had a pretty good winter. It's been pretty mild." She's like, "I know." Although I guess we're gonna dip into some serious like sub-zero temperatures over the weekend and into next week. Blah. Yuck. Well, hopefully we'll warm up by the end of February. So it is February 1st. It's a brand new month. I jokingly said on last Thursday's show that I'd see everybody next month. So here I am. So the madman says they only got 2 inches of snow out by him in Michigan. Cool. I guess Boston's going to possibly get 2 feet. I guess New York is getting a foot. The city of Chicago itself got way more snow than we got, which is unusual. We usually get more snow than the city does, but we're 60 miles outside the city, thereabouts. 40, well, maybe 50 as the crow flies, I guess we'd say. All right. So anyway, I've got some cool news tonight. I also have an announcement to make, and I'm feisty this evening, so I am going to share some thoughts about the hobby that I'm sure there are people out there who are not going to like, which is okay because there's plenty of people out there who don't like me either. So it's like, whatever. I'm not that concerned. Let's jump on into the news first. Oh, I also have to point out I've got a bunch of contests to reveal. Yes. All right, so let's jump on into the news because there's an interesting looking fantasy themed board game. It's going to arrive in Q2. I've got the scoop on Rush Out from Luma Imports. And I guess you could probably put on like 2112 while you're playing this, eh? It was far too easy to progress into this dark dungeon. Far too easy. But you progressed anyway, and when you reached its very last level, you had the bad idea to wake up the sorcerer, the big boss, and now the only way you can survive is to rush out the exit. Rush Out is an asymmetrical and hectic game for 3 to 5 players, with 2 to 4 heroes trying to escape while the sorcerer casts spells against them. Everyone plays simultaneously, with each team rolling and re-rolling dice. 3 per hero and 5 for the sorcerer in order to complete cards. Each player can place dice on only 1 card at a time, and each ordeal card on the hero's side can be completed by at most 2 people. As soon as a card has all its symbols covered, you carry out its effect. In the case of the sorcerer, then draw a new card. The first team to draw the final card of their deck wins. The game's actually divided into trainings first, followed by scenarios. Each time you progress in the rules, you're invited to play the game before going further. So step by step, you learn the following rules, which often add new cards to the decks. When the sorcerer completes specific cards, they can remove 1 or all of the hero's dice from a card they're trying to complete. By completing Dracology spells, the sorcerer can move a dragon pawn onto a card of the hero's side of the board. Heroes cannot remove this card from play, but can play on and remove other cards by using wilds on their dice. The heroes can push the dragon back. If the dragon moves all the way onto the hero's deck, the sorcerer wins the game. By completing specific spell cards, the sorcerer can forbid a hero from using a specific symbol. although this restriction can be canceled by the hero under certain circumstances. By completing cards, heroes can experience, and they can use this experience to make their wild symbols more effective. I would assume they meant to say heroes can gain experience, but they forgot to use the word gain. For each hero, normally a rolled joker on a die is equal to a specific symbol, but this experience also gives you options. The sorcerer can damage heroes, requiring them to heal themselves, possibly with the help of their friends, before they can attempt to complete ordeal cards. Rush Out includes a half dozen scenarios beyond the training games, and each scenario is played as a best of 3 series of games. Rush Out is, once again, for 3 to 5 players, ages 8 and up, plays in around 30 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $34.99 when it hits stores this spring. Looks like this could be kind of interesting. Although I have to admit, at least I personally find games where everybody's doing something simultaneously can get out of hand rather quickly. So where it's just a mad dash, like be rolling dice. Yeah, I don't know. So, but I do like, the idea that, some of the players are a group of heroes and the other players, the evil sorcerer, who's trying to stop them from getting out. And as you can see by the artwork, it's anthropomorphic animals as your heroes and the evil sorcerer. Moving right along, there is another game that's arriving this spring, although I do know that this is hitting in April. It had a successful Kickstarter, and I'm talking about Whale Riders from Grail Games. Here's what I know. You are a whale rider. For generations, your people have known and lived with the ice whales, and together you've bought and traded at the busy ports along the fabled ice coast. You are honored to be the latest in your family to sail with the whales, but the ice is thickening and the glaciers are moving. A deep winter is coming, the fiercest in centuries. You decide to ride your mount one final time before the snows come to buy and sell as much as you can, and maybe even collect some precious pearls along the way. Whale Riders is a new design with a classic feel from game designer Reiner Knizia. In 45 minutes of play, 2 to 6 players race to the end of the ice coast and back, buying and selling as many resources as possible to make the money needed to acquire the richest prizes. Will you skip opportunities to gain the greatest treasure, or will you make your money slowly along the way? Each player has 2 actions per turn, but a lot they have to accomplish or want to accomplish. Sail, buy, sell, draw more order cards. All the while, your opponents might be sailing past and beating you to what's on offer down the coast. Once all the precious pearls have been purchased, the game ends and the player with the most pearls is the winner. Whale Riders has simple and short rules, but offers a lot of interaction and interesting decisions for players. Whale Riders is for 2 to 6 players, ages 8 and up, plays around 30 to 45 minutes. Gotta say, I do not have a precise MSRP from Grail Games. I am going to guess that it's probably going to be right around $19.99. That is just a gut feeling based on what the pledge level was to get a copy of the retail edition of the game. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about 20 bucks. So could be kind of fun. I know I have blasted Reiner Knizia over the years, but it is nice to see that as of late that he is actually releasing new designs, because he went through a period for a few years where everything was just a reskinned release of his earlier games. And I mean, over and over again. It wasn't just, oh, well, this one game design, well, it used to be about climbing monkeys, and now it's about getting married. I'm just making this up. It would be like 3 or 4 different versions of the same damn game, just with a different coat of paint. So it's nice to see that Dr. Knizia is back to doing new designs, at least as far as I know. All right, so Beat Cafe has joined us in chat. Good to see ya. Welcome aboard. So this is not necessarily a war game news piece, but I would think this might be of interest to the war gamers out there, and I am talking about Scope Stalingrad, which is coming this spring from Draco Ideas. Scope is a 2 to 4 player game set during the Battle of Stalingrad, where players take on the role of sniper teams on both sides. The objective of the game is to eliminate the enemy snipers or enemy troops for a total value of points, depending on the scenario being played. A fast and immersive game of 5 to 15 minutes per match, with various levels of difficulty and rules that are explained in 2 minutes on the clock. When you try it, you won't be able to stop playing it. Oh no! I can't stop playing. I don't know. I don't know about that. I think you'll be able to stop playing. Because if not, then the people who designed this would have starved to death. Never come out. Scope is a game of strategy, cunning, and bluffing that will make you feel like a real sniper. Searching and selecting your targets, shooting wisely, and changing position so as not to be discovered and eliminated. The game will also include free card sleeves as well. Scope Stalingrad is for 2 to 4 players, ages 12 and up, plays in 5 to 15 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $19.95 when it arrives in Q2 of 2021. Interesting. I noticed Draco Ideas is really attempting to get more of their, well, I mean, they're a relatively new game company. It's not like they've got tons of releases, but it does seem like they're really doing their best to get more of their releases in front of North American buyers, I guess we'll say. English speakers or readers, I guess we'll say as well. Because if I remember right, I think Draco Ideas is out of, I think it's out of Poland. If memory serves correctly. I think that's what it is. All right, let's move on to some role-playing game news because there is a new Humble Bundle that's filled with 5e goodies, although the Madman says that Scope sounds kind of interesting. Anyway, here are the details about the Dungeon Extravaganza Humble Bundle. The 5th edition Dungeon Extravaganza. Expand your tabletop adventures with these awesome ebooks. A veritable library of 5e adventure and more awaits. Get 5e ebooks like Amazing Adventures 5e Quick Starter, For the Love of Valentine, and the Dragon Isles 5 map set. Plus, your purchase will support the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society. Pay $1 or more. Normally, the total cost for the ebooks in this bundle is as much as $415. Here at Humble Bundle, you choose the price and increase your contribution to upgrade your bundle. This bundle does have a minimum $1 purchase. You can read these anywhere. These ebooks in the bundle are available in PDF format, so they work on your computer, e-readers, iPads, cell phones, and a wide array of mobile devices. There's instructions and a list of recommended reading programs to be found as well. You're also supporting charity. Choose where the money goes between the publishers and the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society via PayPal's Giving Fund. And if you like what Humble does, you can even leave them a humble tip. So at $1, you're going to unlock books such as The Tower of Jedifar, Amazing Adventures 5e, The Ruins of Ends Meet, and The Gray's Citadel. For an $8 donation, you'll unlock titles such as A Stranger Among Us, For Love of Valentine, and Lost Lands, Grand Duchy of Remy. And you'll get the whole shebang for a donation of $15 or more. And you'll score the Amazing Adventures 5e Quick Starter, the Book of Beginnings, the Lost Worlds World Setting, and more. These savings will run through February 16th. Flaming Heron mentions that just got to remember you have them. I constantly forget I have bundles through Humble Bundle. Yeah, because don't they? They're almost always, at least the PDFs, the role-playing game PDFs, almost always end up being through Drive. No, maybe not. I know the bundle of holdings are always through Drive-Through RPG. So, because I honestly think, bundle of holding is part of the One Bookshelf series of sites. But yeah, sometimes Humble Bundle does it through Drive-Through, and sometimes they just do it through just downloads as well. So I don't know. It's been a long time since I actually got a Humble Bundle of RPG stuff. So, But I got to say, $415 worth of PDFs for $15. Come on, there's got to be something in here you can use. Got to be something. All right, so my last news piece. There is a new Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay tale that has arrived in PDF. I've got the dope on Uber's-like Adventures, The Blessing That Drew Blood. Ooh, scary. Scary. The Blessing That Drew Blood is part of our ongoing series of entertaining scenarios set in the Duchy of Ubersreich, the primary setting of the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay starter set. There's Geheimnisnacht. I don't know if that's even close. The dreaded night when the chaos moon waxes full. It's almost upon Ubersreich's citizens. A foreboding atmosphere permeates the town, and the sense of fear and dread is palpable. A spate of killings has occurred, adding to the terror. The murderers, whomever they may be, seem to target victims from amongst Ubersreich's holy orders. As Geheimnisnacht draws closer, the killings become more frequent. The city's priests demand justice for their brothers and sisters, whilst preaching to all to remain vigilant for the merest trace of chaos flourishing under Morbslieb's light. Ubersreich Adventures The Blessing That Drew Blood includes a dark and gripping adventure by Dave Allen, allowing your players to delve into a sinister murder mystery. Ah, yes, it's Dave Allen at large. Not really, no. Different Dave Allen. The setting of Ubersreich, as detailed in the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay starter set, with new locations and citizens described. There's new minor spells of Slanesh, designed to inconvenience and embarrass the most stoic of investigators. The Blessing That Drew Blood is the next exciting adventure in the Ubersreich Adventures series, the primary setting of the Wifrip starter set. These grim and perilous adventures can be used as short standalone adventures, or easily slotted into any ongoing Wifrip campaign. This 29-page PDF is available right now at Drive-Thru RPG for $3.99. Cool. So keeping in mind, there is also a pre-order for the Ubersreich Adventures, or as I like to say, Ubersreich Adventures 2, the sequel, part 2. And I think, if I remember correctly, you can get the PDF. I think it's $19.99, and it includes, I think it's 6 adventures all total. There should probably be a hardcover collection of this as well. So Flaming Heron points out that Humble Bundle books aren't through Drive-Thru. See, like I said, it's been such a long time. Could have swore that he had something. I know when they do things like for D&D, if it's Wizards of the Coast stuff, like older editions of D&D. I know that's not through Drive-Thru RPG. Of course, obviously, when Paizo does Pathfinder stuff, that's not through Drive-Thru RPG. Although, we did recently see that the core rulebook for Pathfinder 2nd Edition is available in PDF at Drive-Thru RPG. Kind of interesting. I have not taken a peek to see how much more is out there in PDF on Drive-Thru RPG. For all I know, it could just be the core rules. You never know. I don't know. So that is it for the news tonight. I was just talking about Drive-Thru RPG. So do want to remind you that the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit, say, Drive-Thru RPG, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you do happen to make a purchase, I get a little portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters, there aren't too many quarters, a lot of nickels and dimes, do add up, and they do help keep the Gaming Gang website around. And I know there are quite a few people out there who do actually use those links, and super appreciate it. Really, really do appreciate that. So Flaming Heron says they get all their Paizo stuff from Paizo. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I find that like the core books that Paizo will have, like, say for an example, the core rule book or the advanced player's guide in PDF from Paizo, the prices are actually pretty good. Because usually we see, like on Drive-Thru RPG, the going thought process is PDFs are half the price of the physical book. Personally, I think it's silly. I think that's a little too high. But then again, I am not the guy producing role-playing game books. So, and yes, I understand art is expensive and math is hard. It's just how it works. But yeah, a lot of times you can get the core books that are coming out in PDF at a pretty good deal. What throws me off a little bit is like the adventures. So say for an example, a Pathfinder adventure path, which I think clock in, Flaming Heron can probably correct me if I'm wrong, usually clock in for like 102, 108 pages, somewhere around there. And the softcover, they'll retail for $24.99. And the adventure in PDF is $17.99. So that's not half price, right? So it's weird. So it's a little higher for the adventures, but then the core books tend to be lower. They're less than half the cost of the core books. It's kind of weird. So Flaming Heron says, then again, if I can buy physical copies of games which come with free PDFs, he does that. Yes, I don't blame you. I don't blame you to do that either. And I want to say a lot of times like Cubicle 7 Entertainment will give you the PDF if you buy the physical book from them or one of the, I want to say it's like Bits and Mortar program is what they call it. And there are a lot of companies out there who take advantage of that. So that's why I always, when I do my news pieces for like say Cubicle 7, I always give the website address and then I give the Drive-Thru RPG address for the release. So that way, if somebody wants to go get the physical book, click on the link, go to Cubicle 7. If you want to get in PDF, which helps the Gaming Gang out, then by all means, they can do that as well. All right. Doug Roberts has arrived in chat. Good to see you, Doug. Thanks for swinging in. So I've got some contests that launched today. No. Got some contests. I'm going to tell you what the contests are. And then I have an announcement to make. And then we'll kind of go from there. Pretty quick zip through the news there. Yes, I know, Doug. I was so tempted to be like, hey, I think this is Doug's first visit. I thought, nah, that joke's. I think we've gotten as much mileage out of that joke as we can. Now I'll start going, Doug Roberts is here again. So before I talk about the contest, let me show you what arrived today. So now my collection of first edition D&D books is complete because I got deities and demigods. Whoa. I can take a peek here. It's actually a very nice copy. And before anybody asks, no, it is not the edition that's got Cthulhu and the Melnibonéan deities in there, simply because I'm not spending $300 on a book that I actually won't ever use. I just wanted to have these because I just wanted to have them. You can see behind me, I've got the Player's Handbook and the Dungeon Master's Guides are sitting up there because I am rolling out a video. It'll be up this week. The video's done, but trying to decide what kind of little visual tweaks I want to use. But I am going to share some thoughts about being a dungeon master, game master. So the series is basically called, So You Want to Be a Game Master? And the first video is about actually choosing the right role-playing game for you and your group, because the obvious answer is not always the best answer. So, and I talk about that a little bit. So that is a new series. I'll decide if people like it. If so, I'll release a video every week, along with the other stuff, right? Along with the other goodies. And a Grade A has joined us in chat as well. Good to see you, Grade A. All right. So anyway, so I'm going to share the contest. So I've got 4 contests this month. I might be able to roll out one more. I don't know, because I always do like to try to get something out there for the war gamers, which we came up short for the Next War Korea contest. We came up, I think it was 81 subscribers short. Sorry, gang. I tried. I got to admit, I swear, I think I have the least responsive subscribers and followers out there. I toss out these contests and it's like no one is interested. People are just not interested unless it's for the new Dungeons and Dragons book. That seems to be the only contest that give me any sort of traction. It's weird. It is very weird. So Grade A's asking about the snow. We were talking about that to open the show. We only got about 4 inches here in the Chicago suburbs where I'm at. And the Madman was saying they only got a couple inches in his area of Michigan. So we're way ahead of the curve as far as everybody else goes. How would you like to have been in the Sierra Nevadas, which I have been through umpteen times, where they got 9 feet of snow? It's like, oh my gosh. And it's very easy for the highway through the Sierras to be shut down. And actually, there were a couple of times I was delivering RVs to San Francisco, because that's how you go if you're going to San Francisco. There were a couple of times I had to sit in Reno for a day or so for them to open up the highway through again. Pretty wild. Yeah, 9 feet. Holy cow. Holy cow. All right, so let's talk contests. So first off, my latest review is for Nidavellir, which is from Grail Games. Once again, I'm not sure if that's how it's supposed to be pronounced, but it's Grrre Games, which I believe is out of France. And Hachette Games, who is releasing it in North America. And I've got a copy to give away. So this review just popped up this afternoon. Check it out. I will tell you how to get into the running to win my copy right here, still in shrink, all good to go. And I'll be the first to admit, it's not that much different than any other YouTube contests I tend to do. So there's that. Flaming Heron says, they're saying flights are being canceled in some places. Driving is not advised. I heard New York was shutting down some subway lines. 0 kilobits per second. There we go. Now it's showing we're back up. I don't know. You know what? I checked to see if there were new drivers for this as far as my dongle or whatever, my Wi-Fi dongle. It's really weird. Flaming Heron's like, we killed the stream. I don't know. It's weird. And okay, so here's what I'm starting to think, and we'll get back to the contest. I'm starting to think it's either a Windows issue, although it's kind of strange that we haven't seen an update, because usually when I have something goes wrong, it's a Windows issue from an update, and I can tell right away. That's not the case here. Only thing that is updated is the actual program that I use and the driver for the video card. Although I don't know if, I have no idea if the driver would have been causing this issue. I don't think it would. So Grade A says O'Hare got 11 inches. Yes, the city of Chicago, they talked about, got 9 inches of snow. O'Hare is right on the outskirts. I don't know if you're not familiar with Chicago. O'Hare is right on the outskirts of Chicago. So it's actually kind of an entity of itself. And yeah, supposedly, I think they said O'Hare got 11 inches. Downtown Chicago got 9. Once again, out my way, we only got 4. So I am not complaining. So the Madman says a friend of his near Chicago got 14 inches. Yeah, when I lived in Indiana, right on the other side of the border for a while, I got a lot of that lake effect snow. So there wouldn't be any snow in Chicago, and we get 2 inches. So Beat Cafe's up in Rockford, Illinois, and says they got 8 inches. So I guess I dodged a bullet. All right, anyway, back to the contest. So if I can hit 7,000 Twitter followers, which is not that far off, I will give away 3 PDF copies plus this physical book. So we'll have 4 winners total. 3 of them will win Warhammer 40K Wrath and Glory from Cubicle 7 Entertainment. 3 of them will win PDFs. 1 of them will win this book I've got in my hands. So remember I reviewed Basic Fantasy a little more than a week ago and really, really liked it. So if I can reach 4.5K subscribers on YouTube, I'll be doing a Basic Fantasy giveaway. But wait, I'm not just going to do the core book, folks. I am actually going to give away everything that's in print for Basic Fantasy. Yes, 1 winner is going to win all 13 of these books. As you can see, I have them in hand. So there is another YouTube contest that I've got. Once again, if I can hit 4.5K subscribers on YouTube, which isn't too terrible. It's not that far off. It's not that much of a stretch. I will give away this set of Basic Fantasy role-playing game books. And finally, yes, I'll just Flaming Heron's that's just crazy. Doug Roberts says that they're about an hour outside Detroit and got no snow. That's kind of funny. The Madman's but wait, there's more. I guess I should have done that. But wait, there's more. Because if I can reach 7.5K Twitter followers, I will give away my copy of the standard edition of Dungeons and Dragons Candlekeep Mysteries. That's right. So that's 7.5K Twitter followers, which is about 600 new followers. That is not that much as far as Twitter goes. And if I can hit 5,000 subscribers on YouTube, a little more than 1,000, I will give away my alternate art copy of Dungeons and Dragons Candlekeep Mysteries. So 4 contests, 5 giveaways, actually a total of 8 items getting given away. And if I can work something out, maybe a GMT war game or something, I will roll out yet another contest. So effectively, just to recap, the Nidavellir contest, you got to watch the review and it'll tell you how you can get in the running to win this copy. The Wrath and Glory is a Twitter follower contest. So I am going to tweet out the contest, and effectively to get in the running, all you got to do is be a follower, retweet the contest tweet, and tag a friend. Basically, that's about it. That is going to be the same thing as far as the Candlekeep Mysteries giveaway on Twitter. As far as the giveaways for YouTube, same as always. Be a subscriber, comment on one of the videos before, any video really, before the end of the month. Don't be rude. And we'll see what we get. If I don't get to the 5,000 subs on YouTube, then I will probably end up doing a contest where that'll be built into the first look video for Candlekeep Mysteries. So if you don't want it to come down to that, because keep in mind, when I do that, I get hundreds of comments on the video. So it becomes a lot harder for you to win if it goes to that. So just letting everybody know. So Flaming Heron says you get a role-playing game and you get a role-playing game. So Great A says, hey, that's about $70 for those basic fantasy books. Yes, that is true. It's about $70. I do have to look to see if there is a Game Master screen that you can buy for basic fantasy. I'm not sure if there is or not. I think I bought everything that's out there from Amazon for basic fantasy. So there's that. All right. So as I mentioned, I had an announcement to make. Like I said, I'm a little feisty. So Flaming Heron says, sorry, that was meant to be a take on what Oprah did with the cars. Oh, okay. There we go. All right. So now I'll do that. I'll get that right for you, Flaming Heron. You get a role-playing game, and you get a role-playing game, and you get a role-playing game. And you have to pay the tax on all those role-playing games. So there you go. So Great A says, there's no official Dungeon Master screen. Oh, I'm sorry, Game Master screen. There are no Dungeon Masters in Basic Fantasy. You are a Game Master. Yeah, okay, so then I've got everything. All right, so the announcement I was going to make is that from here on out, I will no longer be shooting free Kickstarter videos for anybody. For anyone. I have provided free Kickstarter videos to basically anybody who's asked. And I got to be honest, I'm getting tired of being treated like shit. I really am. And it's, something happened recently with somebody who sent me something to provide a video for. The Kickstarter is coming soon. And I didn't charge him anything for it. And I said, hey, you know what? If you want to do, some advertising or something on the website, that's great. and did the video. They've got the video, and they shared a preview of their Kickstarter. And my video's all the way down at the bottom of this stack of videos. Starting off with the Dice Tower. Now, I'm not sure who with the Dice Tower. All I saw was, and you know, that was like, whatever. I understand that. So, I mean, they had people who, I was like, who are they? I've never heard of these people. So I click, go look on YouTube. Now, granted, the nearly 4,000 subscribers, I know that's not a big deal, right? It's, you know, and once again, I've said this time and time again, I suck at SEO. I suck at, you know, the social media aspect of dragging people in, you know, to subscribe. I just said a few minutes ago that I run out these contests and get very little, unless it's a Dungeons and Dragons book, I get very little traction on these contests. So anyway, so I'm like looking at some of these people, and they've got like 175 subscribers. And I started watching a few minutes of the video, and hey, you know what? I understand that my video quality is not the greatest. You know, it's 1080p. It's the best I can do. Once again, I can't emphasize enough that I do not sit here and do Kickstarters every year to take money out of your pocket to support the gaming gang. I don't. I just don't do it. Because you know, basically I look at the companies that do that and then charge people for their Kickstarter videos or any video coverage, because you do know that's the case. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to like rain on anybody's parade. But those of you out there who do follow the hobby, you know about the hobby, you know there are outlets out there that sit there and they run a Kickstarter every year, and then they turn around and charge companies to shoot video. To me, that's double dipping. You know, that's just greed. And I apologize. I might drop an F-bomb or two during this. So, all right. So anyway, so I'm looking at, there's people like 175 subscribers, and the video's ahead of mine. And I'm sorry, I have some pride, right? If I didn't, I'd just be like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, here's your 3-minute video. Here's my review. Yeah, basic fantasy. I liked it. It's good. It's a good book. Roll credits. And then, oh, this has been a paid promotion. This is paid product placement after the credits. You know who I'm talking about there. So I wrote these people, and I said, well, first of all, they were like, hey, we need you to send on that prototype to the next reviewer. And I wrote back and I said, well, I don't do that. If you send me a prototype, I'm not charging you to do a Kickstarter video, but I keep the game. That's kind of my fee. It's like, I mean, come on, seriously? It's like, you expect a Kickstarter video for absolutely nothing? Come on. Yeah, it'd been different if they said, well, yeah, you know, we want to, you know, advertise with you for like the first week or two of the Kickstarter. Then I'd be like, yeah, sure. Okay. I'll forward it on. But I mean, come on. So anyway, so I said, yeah, hey, I noticed, I'm like the last video in your list of like, I don't know, 10, 12 videos. I'm like, come on. So they write me back and they're like, well, we were just doing it in the how in depth the reviews were. So the more in depth the review was, the further back in the pack. So supposedly my review is the most in depth review of this game. So it would be last. Which of course is BS because the Dice Tower was first. And after the Dice Tower were like these ass clowns who do like the 4-minute review. So anyway, so they write me back and they're like, just to let you know, there were some outlets that we paid to do videos. We're not even using their videos. We've asked them to remove the videos that they shot from their websites. And I'm thinking to myself, so are you trying to imply that I should be grateful that you allowed me to shoot a Kickstarter preview? It's like, what? So I wrote back saying, hey, pointing out that you paid a multitude of outlets to do a Kickstarter video, and you have absolutely no interest in supporting my outlet at all outside of, wow, we really like all your coverage, Jeff. Do you think you could shoot a Kickstarter video for us? Outside of soft soaping me. I was like, I'm not sure where, like the sob story of, hey, we paid people to do videos. We're not even using their videos. I don't know where you think that that's actually gaining you any ground here. It's like, oh, well, now I feel good. So like, so I decided that's it. I'm done with the free Kickstarter. I mean, I'll do the Kickstarter news pieces and that's no skin off my nose. But the preview videos, no, I'm done. If people want, and I'll charge a fair price. I'm not going to charge, because I know what some of these outlets charge, and some of them are completely outrageous. Once again, not naming names, but there is one outlet, once again, known, people in the know these people are shills. 10-minute video, $1,500. So, anyway, so there's discussion about Kickstarter. So a Grade A says, you got to know Kickstarters are grasping. It's the whole reason why they're on Kickstarter. Yeah, I don't know. I became more friendly to Kickstarters over the years because I was not, to me, it's like, if you're a small company, I get it. If you're cool mini or not, I don't think so. Because now you're just using it as order fulfillment. And if you want to do order fulfillment, then just do pre-orders on your own website. So a Grade A says, the more money people make off Kickstarter, the more the middleman sharks show up, and the more that people look to exploit and game the system. So to speak, kind of like the U.S. tax system. Flaming Heron says, money talks, bullshit walks. A Grade A says, Kickstarter had the strongest year in tabletop games last year. Flaming Heron's like, really? Or are they just saying that? Yeah, I think they did all right. So Grade A says, it's hard to trust the indie Kickstarter games only because there have been so many failures. That's the risk. Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. I completely agree. Especially when it's, a company that has not produced the game in the past and they're on Kickstarter and you're kind of like, huh. So am I throwing this money away? Because I might be. So a Grade A says there was one guy on Kickstarter had 4 different Kickstarter profiles, 12 undelivered RPG projects, I should say. And he's still on there. Oh, is that Mike Neistel? or Nistel? I'm kidding. Although I know he did Kickstarter. I think I've mentioned before he was the leader of our opposing game club at my high school. So, no joke, dead serious. And I know he came out with some I think he had like 3 or 4 different crowdfunding projects and didn't come through on any of them. So I think he's kind of verboten. So anyway, So yeah, so I'm done with that. And there's something I'm going to say, and I'm sure that there will be publishers out there who don't like this, and there are going to be just regular gamers who stumble across this video, or maybe even people who watch all the time who are not going to like me saying this, but so Flaming Heron says, sorry, my comment was really, are they saying that they were getting people to remove paid advertisements for their Kickstarters? Yes, that's what they were telling me. That there were Kickstarter videos they had paid for that they did not like, and they told the outlets that they had paid for the videos to take the videos down. They did not want those videos being shared. That's what I got from it. So once again, but it was worded as if it's like, oh, you should be grateful because we love your video. Right? Anyway, okay, so I'm going to say this. I'm not going to go on and on and on because I've already kind of ranted about this anyway. The way I look at it is every time a game publisher, doesn't matter how big or small that game publisher is, every time a game publisher only turns to the well-known hacks and paid shills in the industry, and we know who they are. I guarantee people who watch this show know who I'm talking about. Average gamer who's like, oh, everything's wonderful. All games are great. Every game company's fantastic. I love it. They have no clue what I'm talking about. But every time these companies turn to these paid hacks, these paid shills, essentially what they do is they send a big fuck you to everybody else who covers this hobby because they have a passion for this hobby. And yes, I'll be the first to admit, would it be nice to make a few more bucks than I do off of this? Of course. I'd be lying if I was like, oh no, I don't want to make any money doing this. But once again, I'm in my 11th year of doing this. You don't see me reaching into your pocket to provide you with the website or the videos or anything like that. I personally believe advertisers should be able to pay to keep the website around. And yes, of course, I do have the little drive-through RPG, and I make a handful of dollars on YouTube. Certainly not much. Maybe one of these days I'll actually share what I've made lifetime on YouTube. In fact, I can tell you it's a little more than I think $1,500. And I started doing videos in I think it was late 2012. So that just shows you. And I get about, I don't know, 700 views on the videos every day. It depends on the videos, of course. Anyway, so every time these companies do that, where they go to the 3 or 4 same fucking outlets and they shell out their $1,500, their $2,000, their $1,000 for what is essentially a paid advertisement. Because let's think of it. There's somebody out there. There's a man I know. When was the last time you heard them actually give just a neutral review for something? Saying, oh yeah, the game was okay. We enjoyed playing it. Is it the greatest thing? Nah, it's all right. But every time they do that, everybody else out there, it's basically the publishers are saying, fuck you. We don't care about your coverage. We don't care about you. There are a lot of people who are covering this hobby. And I'm going to tell you right now, there are very few people who actually make money at doing this. But there are a lot of people out there who do it because they feel they have something to share, something that's new, something that's different. And every time you see the same 4, maybe 5 outlets get all those Kickstarter video dollars. Those publishers are saying, hey, little guy or little gal, or that couple who have that new kind of way of looking at things, we don't give a shit what you think. All we care about is getting these advertisements in front of gamers out there, and gamers who are stupid enough to think that these are actually legitimate reviews as opposed to paid product placement. Somebody out there, they're like, they start off their paid videos, which now it's like everything. And it was funny because I've talked about how this person got paid for their videos for a long time. And I had people argue with me that, oh, no, they don't. And it's like, oh, yes, they do. And now their videos are, they kind of start off with, well, this is a paid preview of XYZ game. So take what I say with a grain of salt. So what did that just tell you? This is a paid product placement, so take whatever I say with a grain of salt. When you take something with a grain of salt, that means you're not supposed to believe it. Anyway. So I'm just pointing that out. And here's the other thing. So like I said, every time, and I'm dropping the F-bomb because it gets the point across. So if it offends people watching, I'm sorry. And not sorry at the same time. But I've already said, every time these publishers turn to the same 4 or 5 outlets for their Kickstarter previews, their paid previews, those publishers are saying, fuck you to everyone else covering the hobby. You know who else are saying fuck you to? You. Because they don't believe enough in your ability to see through if a game is going to be for you or not. That's why whenever I do reviews, I always say, or try to say, I think it'll appeal for XYZ people. Or I don't think it's going to be up XYZ people's alley. I don't sit there and be like, oh, everybody needs to buy this. So I try to give a legitimate opinion about the game. You don't see like really negative reviews from me because I give the publisher an option. Do they want me to go forward with the negative review? And I can't tell you when the last time I had a company say, yeah, go ahead. In the old days, it used to be like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we understand. We know the game has problems. You know the game's got problems. Why'd you release it? Why did you fix the problems? Nowadays, nope. It's like, no. So that's why you really don't see it. But every once in a while, you see stuff where I'm like, yeah, 6.5, 7 out of 10, which doesn't mean it's bad. It just means, yeah, that's pretty good. It's okay. I'm sure it's got its audience. All right. Anyway, so we'll wrap up. So Flaming Heron says, yeah, that just seems crazy. If you're so far down the list for their Kickstarters, better off without them. Great A says, yeah, large list there, Jeff. Can't keep track of them all. Doug says, I bought one game off of Kickstarter. It was delivered when they said and is a fun solo game. Oh, yeah, I'm not telling you not to support Kickstarters. I'm not telling you that at all. But I'll be the first to point out, I get requests to share a lot more Kickstarter news than I do. And one of the first things I'll see is if I see that it's the same people that they have gone off and paid to shoot videos for them, I won't share the video. I won't share the news piece. Because first off, one of the things is, well, I guess my outlet isn't good enough for you to consider doing a Kickstarter preview, which I'm going to take a guess. Some of them wouldn't do a Kickstarter preview with me because I know I'm not going to bullshit people. So sometimes I'll tell them, if you didn't think enough about my outlet to even inquire about me doing a preview video for you, then I can't see how my outlet is going to, help you by sharing this news piece. Sometimes they're very pissed. I'm like, I don't give a shit. So anyway. So let's see, where did we leave off there? Oh, anyway, Doug, yeah, I'm not telling you not to support Kickstarters. I'm not saying that at all. Like I said, I've become much more friendly to Kickstarters over the years than when they first started rolling out. And you were getting tons and tons of projects that just did not, they funded quite a lot and just didn't go anywhere. So Agrede says there's several places that focus solely on Kickstarter coverage and previews. That's, hey, if people want to sit there and preview Kickstarters, that's great. I do Kickstarter previews. You've seen them. I've got one up right now. But it's also a preview. It is not a review. And I specifically state that it is not a review. And the reason why it's not a review is because it's not the finished product. I don't feel that I can give something a review score if that's not what's going to be in people's hands when that finished product is delivered. So Flaming Heron says, I am totally with you in regards to paid advertisements. The problem is YouTube doesn't give great ad revenue for smaller YouTubers. It's the big YouTubers who you refer to, which are the problem. Yeah. But, and the funny thing, that's basically how it works. I'll finish up these comments and I'll say one last thing and then we'll wrap up. Because the other thing I noticed is a lot of people don't like when the show goes longer than an hour. So, So, Agrede says, are there RPG zine contests? Yeah, don't they have the Zine Fest or something like that? I think Zine Fest 3 is currently going on. So, Doug Roberts says, I just meant I don't trust Kickstarter, but I rolled the dice. I got lucky, I feel. Yeah, that's true. There you go. Yeah, there are some people who are like, will never. I got to be honest, I really don't. I don't support Kickstarters. Sorry. For one, I don't have the funds, right? The money I'd be spending on games on Kickstarter go to this. When you go to DriveThruRPG and you buy stuff and you used my link, that money goes towards this. I'm like, what? Right now, I'm sitting there going, should I get that 4K camera that could stream in 4K? Do I? Yeah, I know. I'm an idiot. Anyway, what was the last thing I was going to mention? Grady said, thanks for the F-bomb. Yeah, a little carpet bombing there. Gosh. It was something about these people being in on the... Oh, yes. I'll tell you what it is. All right. So we see these... So we see some of these new outlets pop up and suddenly they've got tens of thousands of subscribers. We see outlets that have been around for quite a while that have tons and tons of subscribers. We have accounts, these outlets that they have Twitter and they've got tons and tons of followers. A good percentage of those are not actually real. So, once again, getting a little inside baseball that people probably don't want to hear. There are outlets out there who effectively that are popping up. They have corporate money backing them. They are not upfront about they have corporate money backing them. That essentially all that outlet is there to do is to generate revenue off of mainly Kickstarter project videos and paid advertising as far as reviews go. So many of these outlets actually pay outside services to provide them with Twitter followers and YouTube subscribers. So these big audiences that these outlets have gained, like overnight for some of them, are not legit. They did not organically grow their following or their subscribers. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem as if Twitter or YouTube really care, because they figure, hey, man, it's more revenue, I guess. So anyway, yeah. So yes, that's, it's getting to the point where we will see in the not too distant future a big backlash against many of these outlets who are just doing paid ads disguised as, or not even disguised, because like I said, some of them hide the fact that it's a paid placement after the credits of their video, which of course, vast majority of people aren't even watching. They're gone before then. But I think we're gonna see some backlash. The next, I'd say, year or two at the most, probably in about a year, because I think a lot of people are getting fed up. I think a lot of people are getting fed up. They see the same exact people constantly saying the same exact things about vastly different games, that I think a lot of people are starting to figure out that the fix is in. It really is. Great A says, I have more than double the subscribers as Dan Pancaldi. Obviously. Yeah, but Dan hasn't been doing videos for that long, has he? Once again, Dan is also an acquired taste for people. Just like, so like, for an example, the Players Aid, they've got more subscribers than I've got. I've been doing this longer than they have. I'll also point out that I really didn't try to promote the channel at all for years. I just was like, I'll put a video up. I didn't even try to monetize for a long time. I think I first monetized videos in like 2016. I think I put in to monetize them. But if you think about it, I mean, Alexander and Grant are very different than Dan. So some of them are like, kind of overlap a little bit, but then they've got their own unique audiences too. So Flaming Heron says, funnily, you say that one in particular does Let's Play for role-playing games to offset the extreme amount of preview videos. Really? See, that's another thing we could get in one of these days. And we might talk about that sometime this week. Just because, like I said, I'm thinking of just rolling out a little series about my thoughts about game mastering and things like that. And I am going to share my thoughts from over 40 years of running role-playing games. But once again, they're just my personal beliefs. There's no hard and fast rules. But we see all these people doing D&D videos, and they're basically not telling you anything. And it's like 150,000 views. It's like on one video where it's like 5 tips for playing Rangers in Eberron. And it's just stuff that they're repeating right out of the book. It's ridiculous. That's something else that I think people are starting to get pretty tired of too. The videos all have that same 5th edition D&D font, real big. Yes, get out of here. Tug Roberts says, Dan who? Never heard of him. No enemies here. Dan Pancaldi. It's Wargamers for the most part. Callendale only has about 7,000 if you want to talk about an acquired taste. I'm not sure who Callendale is. Yeah, I know I'm an acquired taste, and that's fine. I can only be who I am. I am not going to pretend to be someone else because that would suck, especially sitting here in front of a camera 4 nights out of the week. And then I do other videos as well. No way. I don't want to be the guy who sits there and he's like, yeah, hey, everybody. All right, it's great to see everybody again. And oh, I'm so excited to be. Come on. That'd drive you nuts as fast as it would me. All right, don't forget, got a bunch of contests that are going on. I will post those on Twitter as well. So if you follow me on Twitter at The Gaming Gang, you'll see as well. But if you have not checked out the review for Nidavellir, which I don't even know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, give it a peek. I will tell you how you can get in the running to win this copy right here. Still in shrink. Ooh, yeah. So Flaming Heron says, yeah, but I'm still watching your videos years later. I don't know. I can say that about a lot of YouTubers. Yeah, that's true. But the funny thing is, I've always pretty much just been me. You know, you could go back to the earliest, one of the first videos I did. In fact, I think it was the first video I did. I shot it. It was in my apartment. I was in Mesa, Arizona, and the Gaming Gang had been around for a couple of years. And I had a bookshelf that I had just bought and put together. And Great A's talking about Seth Skirkowski. I don't think I pronounced the last name right. I think I'm close. Doesn't do D&D, and he gets 80K plus. I think Seth's videos are really good. But then again, Seth is also one of these people who he's just telling you his thoughts. It's funny, too, because I have never met Seth. I watch his videos. I haven't watched his videos in a little while, though. Very pleasant. Always enjoy the videos. I always give him a thumbs up. I'm always like, yeah, I like that. Then again, I'm one of these people, if I watch a video for a few minutes, I'm like, this is pretty good. I give it a thumbs up. In fact, I thought it was funny. I'll wrap up in a second. I know, man, this show's just going really long. Anyway, don't forget, check out the Nidavellir review. It is the most recent video besides this. Anyway, I was going to say that, oh God, what was I going to say? Oh, so I decided, hey, it's time for me to do a new intro video, like, howdy. Hi, everybody. Hi. Welcome to the channel 2021, right? It's just because, it was about that time. I think that video I'd had was up for like 2 years or something. I can't believe somebody gave it a thumbs down. It's just a minute and a half intro video, for crying out loud. Oh, I don't like this at all. Bah. Stupid me. I should just make it, that you can't vote on it, period. So Flaming Heron says, I honestly like people who do a range of games. I'd be sick if all the channel did was D&D. Oh, great. There goes my plan. My master plan. So Renee says, I saw that Sunday. I gave it a thumbs up. The funny thing is, I didn't expect people to give it a thumbs up or comment. I was just putting in a new hi. Welcome to the channel video. All right. Speaking of, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. All right. Come on, you. There we go. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell, because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube, also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my recent review of, you guessed it, Nidavellir. Although it's not this copy, this is the giveaway copy. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. I will be back tomorrow, so everybody enjoy the rest of your Monday or Tuesday or whatever day it happens to be. Those of you who are watching live, thank you very much for hanging out. for a much longer, much more rambling episode than usual. But of course, I know a lot of people out there don't have an opportunity to watch live. So if you watch after the fact, even if you're watching on Memorex, thank you very much for also taking time out of your busy day to kick back with me as well. And I will be back tomorrow. And of course, as I wrap up all my videos during this never-ending pandemic, I certainly do hope all of you out there are being smart and staying safe. Oh, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, if you'd like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, by all means, click right here. And if you'd like to check out one of our recent live streams, click right up top. And if you want to roll the dice and see what the algorithm for YouTube recommends, click right here. And of course, thank you once again for watching. And gang, please stay safe and wear a mask.